Flame of Fate is on tap here today in Cookie Alliance Season 2.5 in our episode for you right now. With that, thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to do that. On top of it all, my friends, we're going to break down this specific Cookie Alliance Season 2.5 for you and Flame of Fate in today's episode. Like I said, down below you can find today's timestamps where we give you the 4 T's. That's the tactics, the team, the treasure, and the toppings in order to help you succeed. We're going to take all of our learnings here from Elite 3. I'm a top 10,000 rank right now as a free-to-play player in Hollyberry. So let's go ahead and dive into Flame of Fate and impart what I know to help you get through this here in hard mode for you today. All right, so here's what we got going on. A couple things, as always, whether you're a returning player, a veteran player, a new player, all those things, very, very important here. Make sure that you're using your artifacts, getting your upgrades against each of the elementals. A couple of key things here, though, as we look at the suggested ones, and this holds true through everything so far, is certainly water, earth, and light are some key focus areas for you in terms of upgrades that you can throw in there, and know that those are going to work well. A little bit of foreshadowing here, you will find poison. However, we're not going to cover that in today's episode. So a couple of key pieces there. Now, additionally, we're going to run into these effects: enemies debuff resist, defense up, cooldown up, attack speed down, and periodic damage down. So this is the new one coming in. So is light for you here in this particular run for hard mode. So those are a couple key pieces and additions here. Now, our strategy and approach that we take is an elemental focused version of groupings of our teams. Certainly you can run a key one team, you can run a blended team, those kinds of things. However, we're able to make this strategy work for us, and I wanted to share that exactly with you here today. Make sure that you're using that Beacon of Valor and artifacts like we said. Let's go ahead and take a look at these teams here for you today. So a couple things here when it goes to our teams. We're leading with our water one. I'll talk about that here in a second. However, a couple things with this one, it's certainly strong enough to get through. We've seen that in the first one and second one of our Season 2.5 here in Cookie Alliance. Might be able to get all the way through here today. A couple key pieces about this is if you're looking for those skill elementals, again, going to water here, you can see everything that you can use and leverage. Again, like we talked about, blending those teams, those kinds of things. Now, additionally here, if you're looking for toppings, if you're looking for toppings and Beascuits, we have all those guides available to you here on the channel and down below. You can check those out. Certainly gives you a little bit more detail against each of these cookies. Not what we're going to cover here today, but that information is there for you for your information and awareness if you need it. Now, a couple things around this particular team. A really nice one here for water. We got a nice healer here. I've ran a 2 healer strategy before. That's something that you can consider as well. Additionally here, we are focused on attack and cooldown. A couple ideas though that you can swap in. You could always go with robes if you wanted to. You could go with Duraniers if you wanted to on some more of the tanky versions. Here we also have our Sleepyhead's Jelly Watch. You can use this one. You can use Disciples Magic Scroll. That defense can come a little bit more in handy. Grim Looking Sigh, more defense if you need. Vial as well. Sometimes people like the Bookseller's Monocle. So a couple key items for you to kind of think about in your treasures, and that's going to apply across all these teams. And then in terms of our toppings, as we always like to say, stay on resonant where it makes sense. We cover those in our guides. Here we're on Solid Almond, here we're on attack, here we're on attack, here we're on attack, and here we're on cooldown. So pretty more of a damage oriented team when it comes to our water. Let's go ahead. Now we're on earth. So here at earth, again, skill elementals, you can always check in, double click. We are not running olive. Instead, we have a healer in here with cream puff. So that's a key piece. Additionally, just by putting on Beascuits, again here, we're lacking that one. I got to go farm it. Actually, we could swap if we wanted to, but we'll leave it there for now. Is going to make a huge difference in your team. So highly encourage that. If you've seen some of the other episodes here for 2.5 in our alliance, we did bulk up. This is a great opportunity to do that here across all your cookies or most of your cookies here on CookieRun Kingdom. It's a nice reminder to do that and kind of keep everything moving up in parallel, particularly for these pieces. This is a great team, well-balanced team, very high damage dealing team, again, because you got GC and everything pairs really well with that earth elemental type. Now, in terms of our toppings, we are on Solid Almond. Here we're on Solid Almond. Here we're on attack. Here we're on attack. And here we're on crit. Our third team is going to be Frost, predicated on Frost here. Again, similar thing. If you're going to do the Yeti, make sure it's cooldown. Otherwise, most things don't really are going to help there because of the ethereal cookie type. Again, taking advantage of these things on the soul jams, make sure you can get to 10 if you can. Here, obviously, we're a little short when it comes to Sea Fairy. That's an upgrade that we can make and improve our account here. Similar style, other things that we talked about, all revolving around our frost, making a big piece. Now, however, we are on top of that focused with Parfait as our healer to balance these things out. That is what I am running. And then in team 4 here, it is, let's go back here before we get to that spoiler. And when it comes to toppings, again, here we are on cooldown. We're on a attack. We're on attack here. We're on cooldown here. We're on cooldown here. So some things that you can move around always. We like to do multitudes of toppings because of the good balancing depending on the game mode and PvE, PvP kind of a thing for you. When it comes to forward, this is our light team. Our light team is a heavy damage dealing team with creme brulee. A lot of it's about survivability. A lot of it's about boosting. All those things as well for you to keep in mind. Now, again, in our skill elementals, we do have Cream Puff, but certainly we put that one out, and we do have Madeline there. So those are some thoughts in terms of swaps that you can also put in there. I like to share some of those things. We are running PV there as well. And then in terms of our toppings, we're on Solid Almond. You could consider attack here. We're on Solid Almond there. We're on attack. We're on cooldown, and we're on attack. Last but not least, at 5, we got our fire team. So our fire team is a pretty heavy, kind of bulky upfront team in terms of not full defense oriented, but again, a little bit there for you to consider. We do have 1 damage dealer. One idea on this team is certainly a swap here for Rye to get a little bit more direct damage in. You could do that. We could swap it for Mollisauce as an example there. Might not be a bad idea. However, again, the boost from Mala isn't terrible. So a couple ideas there in terms of our toppings. Again, we're on Solid Almond. Here we're on Solid Almond. You could consider attack. We're on attack here. We're on attack here. And then we're on cooldown here. So that, again, friends, easy upgrade there for Mollisauce if you want to go through with that, is our teams with our strategy really being around the elemental types. Again, you can run a disperse strategy. You could run a 1-team strategy. You could run a number of things, however, and we are focused on very specific elemental types in order to counter and help us in our Cookie Alliance runs here on hard mode for season 2.5. Now, the other thing is you'll see a lot of my upgrades, so we talked about this a little bit before at the beginning, are fairly high now, getting up there plus 10s. The good news is you can actually get through this without any if your power levels and those things are close to mine. I just want to share that as an additional tip and trick. All right, so let's go through it here for our Cookie Alliance hard mode run season 2.5. It is time. However, before we do that, one last tip and trick. So we got water, we got earth, and we got light. One of the things that you might want to do is you may want to swap your third team here. We have frost into light. So that way, sometimes it makes it easier for you in terms of what you're going to hit. You may not want to lead with water. Again, it depends, and these are some tricks on the last one, is if you're not hitting water right away, you may want to run something else because that elemental type is not there out of the gate. When it is out of the gate, it's a great idea to start with that team. I really like that upgrade as well, where you can make really quick swaps. It's super helpful. The other thing that you'll see here with my particular team is we should be able to rip through this, which also sets us up nicely for the next one to be water, which is great as well. So we can quickly get through this. My team, again, is going to be able to not have really any problems. Probably could run this all the way through, which in fact I probably did when I first ran through it. But again, giving you a good baseline in terms of how to think about it. The giant sand jelly worm here can be a problem or a challenge sometimes. Certainly as you get further along, it gets harder. Here's our water. So you can run it all the way through like I did as well. Again, this one may be able to make it in hard mode here. All right. Now, another thing, as you can see, as we're running in between, the clock isn't going, which is great. That's super helpful in terms of trying to get through this in a fast manner. Now, again, once we rip through Vampire Cookie here in this team, we do want to swap or switch, which we will do. All right, here we go. Get ready. There we go. So what this is doing is getting your cooldown set as you move into the next one. We know, again, because of 2 being that Earth Elemental and previous runs, what that can look like and what that will look like for you. That's going to set you up for success as you get into this, as you transition into Chapter 4 here and these waves as well. And then the next thing that we know is after we take down Strawberry Crepe, we certainly want to move into our light team. That light team is going to be the next key piece for us to be successful here. There we go. Let's swap over, get everything set up, because one of the challenges that you can run into is if you do that timing on there, your cooldowns aren't up, you're not going to take advantage of everything that you'd like to take advantage of, and then your team can take a lot of damage, and it can really slow you down in your runs and hurt you, and you may not end up being successful here. But again, a nice one here. We got that periodic damage down. Don't really have to worry about that too much. And here we go, the Gink Goblin Tower here for you, wave 20. Let's take this thing down, and there it is, my friends. All she wrote, tons of damage. And with that, that is our Cookie Alliance hard mode for you. Let's grab the History Relic chest too. One other thing, as I like to say, if you kind of get your cap or get tapped, which means you can't quite fully get through, make sure that you just keep claiming those additional chests. You don't always have to run it. I use that strategy a lot just to collect a lot of the extra stuff here, so that I can really stack my artifact points, put those things into the upgrades that I need, particularly the 3 that we saw here today, and keep pushing those teams. And that's going to help you climb. You got to make that dedicated effort to do it, though. And that's a great one there for you. And that's certainly how I move from one level into the next level when I get tapped, or capped, as we like to say. So that, my friends, is Cookie Alliance Hard Mode Season 2-5 there for you. We have made it all the way through in terms of Flame of Fate here today. We're going to collect that reward, and hopefully you do too. And with that, that is all she wrote for today's guide and strategy for you on this run. With that, I just want to say, if you still got a question, if you got a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you as always, and feel free to join us in the Discord server, my friends. On top of that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow this amazing community here. And thank you to all of our members. I appreciate all that support. We got memberships there available to you. Something there for everyone, as I like to say. We got affiliate links. You can check that out. We got some CookieRun stuff that we like. On top of that, my friends, our socials. At me, chat me, stay connected. I love to see what you're doing. Love to see what you're running. I love to see what you're posting. I love the fan art, all kinds of stuff. And with that, that is CookieRun Alliance here, Cookie Alliance Hard Mode for you today in Season 2-5. Keep on running, my friends. Onwards and upwards, as we like to say. And stay tuned, because more headed your way.